Welcome back to the Blue Review. Beto Duran sitting next to me instead of the big CY. I love having Beto here.
I'm my first time appearing, long time listener, first time watcher or participator, or whatever it's called.
Hey, you're going to be a part of it much more moving forward. That's all that matters. And also, Parker Bell is joining us from the Blueprint podcast. He is P Bell is the way that they like to call him. So we're going to have Parker a part of this show as well moving forward. So there's going to be a little bit of changes going on. Blue Review is presented by Los Angeles International Airport. Hire LAX creates life-changing career opportunities for Los Angeles residents. For more information, check out Hire LAX on Eventbrite. All right, Parker, you're taking it away now. It's you. What do you got?
All right, Greg, Beto, good to see you guys. I'm happy to be here. We're going to get straight into it. Kiké Hernández is coming home. Guys, the Dodgers made a trade to the Boston Red Sox for Kiké Hernández, getting rid of two right-handed pitchers. We had one in Nick Robertson and a minor leaguer in Justin Hagenman. So I just want to get your initial reactions. What are your thoughts on the trade, and how do you feel this is going to help the Dodgers?
So for me personally, I like the trade for one reason and one reason. Actually, it's more than one reason. I'm going to give you all of them. Is that he is a right-handed outfield bat. He can play the outfield. He can play the infield. He is cheap. He is the Red Sox are paying for over half of the remainder of his contract. So really, you're paying basically $1 million for a guy that's probably going to be a better hitter, especially in the postseason, than Johnny DeLuca is going to be. Well, while DeLuca has been great in the outfield, Kiké has been there before. He's been a part of this before. He's had big hits in the playoffs, and he comes in here and he knows the system and he knows what goes on around here. He'll fit right in because everybody already knows him. And I think that it works really, really well to add a right-handed bat.
Kiké Hernández coming in on the cheap. I like that because he's coming in on the cheap. Yeah. Contract is done at the end of the year. And as you said, Boston's going to absorb a lot of it. If you look at what Kiké did in Boston and his numbers, oh boy, not good. But then you realize it's a bad situation in Boston. Boston media is different. Boston fans are different. He was the everyday shortstop for a little bit, lost that. The numbers are ugly. But if you have Kiké Hernández off the bench compared to what you have right now, give me that. No problem. Has the experience, so we know that he can run into something in the playoffs. Is it going to be the feel-good story? Oh, my God, he's coming back. Yay. It's cool for the fans. But as the Dodgers organization, they don't do anything based off of feelings. They're doing it based off of we can figure something out. And if Kiké comes in here and works out on the cheap, great. If he doesn't, well, you gave up two AAA arms that are, 25, 26 years old that probably weren't into your long-term plans anyways. Right now, the Dodgers are very thin with right-handers off the bench against lefties, and that's been a sore spot for them right now. Trey Thompson is still rehabbing. Other players are still out. So if Kiké can give you that spark right now, that's great. If his name was Jose Hernandez, are we making a big deal about it? No. But we know what he can do for you in the organization, know what he can do for you off the bench. If you want him starting every day, then you have a problem. But if he's at a spot start, if he's a spot off the bench, that's okay. You need that kind of depth.
Yeah, definitely a fan favorite ever since that game-tying home run, against the Braves. But like you mentioned, Beto, the struggles over in Boston. He's played a lot of shortstop over there, and his defensive numbers weren't great. Where do you guys see his role in LA? I know he's the utility man. He can play anywhere, really. But is this a move to kind of put him at second where they've been struggling a bit? Or do you see him, kind of going back to that outfield, like you said, the DeLuca situation? Where do you see that going, Greg?
So I think you said struggling at second base. I don't actually agree with that. I think especially since Mookie has been playing much more second base, that it hasn't been as much of a problem as we might have thought. Yeah. He is going to be a spot starter. He might play, 3-4 times in the week and get starts, but he's going to be everywhere. He is a super utility guy that's going to play the right, left, center, some maybe at times. He's going to play second base. He can play shortstop. He's a guy that's going to allow you to be more position. Your positionality opens up so much more because if you want to give a guy a day off, he can slide right into that spot. He's very much like Chris Taylor, and you had two super utility guys before in that, and now they're just basically back in that moment. And when one's not hitting, the other one will come out. And so you were right, Beto. He had been terrible in Boston. But that doesn't mean that he's going to be terrible here. And really, we don't need him to be amazing. He just needs to be better than what they had before.
Do just enough in a few innings, in a few spots. If you need him starting every day, then you're probably not in the playoff race anyways. Boston. If you need Kiké off the bench to give you the spark, that's what he's there for. That's what those veteran kind of guys who've been there, done that, do for you. So if you're looking at Kiké to be a second baseman, a shortstop every day, oh boy, But luckily, the Dodgers don't need that right now. They need somebody off the bench to give them a spark, and that's it. And also, you got to realize what you are. Kiké's in his mid-30s now, so like, hey, let's realize I need to be somewhere that's positive, somewhere that's good. Yeah, he got his $10 million from Boston for 1 year. It didn't work out. He's still going to get $10 million, so you know he's going to be motivated to be here with the Dodgers.
Yeah, no, if anyone knows Kiké, he's one of the most fun guys in the league. And you really didn't see that a lot in Boston. So you're hoping to see that personality come back out with the Dodgers. And you mentioned his age, the vet presence. I mean, what do you think this does for guys like Outman moving forward?
I mean, it's just another guy for them to kind of talk to that has been within the organization for a long time. I think the biggest thing that he's going to bring, and Beto, you probably know way more about it than I do, especially being in that dugout a lot and being in the locker room way more. But, doing Kiké getting out there and doing the Freddie Freeman, the whole dance thing that he does, that's going to help. He helps that atmosphere. He helps what goes on in the dugout and just keeping it light and keeping it fun, which they're doing a pretty good job of, but he just adds a little bit extra.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because it's not the same organization that Kiké was with when he was here with the Dodgers. They've made some moves, different faces. So he's going to blend in fine. He knows Dave Roberts. He knows the hitting coaches. You're just hoping that the Dodgers, as they do a lot of times, they find somebody who's been struggling and then they fine-tune them and get there. You don't need Kiké to go 4 for 4. You just need Kiké to go 1 for 1 in the 8th inning. That's all you need. That's all you need from him.
It's true.
Yeah, no better team than the Dodgers at getting these vets, getting these, guys who you may have thought were struggling the last couple of years and using them perfectly. I mean, Greg, Beto, that's all I have for you today, but I want to pass it down to you. Any final thoughts on this trade or just the team moving forward, the morale? I'm excited to see what these Dodgers can do.
So the last thing I'll say is just because they made this move for Kiké Hernández doesn't mean that I think they're done for a right-handed bat. I think this was not the okay, we got our right-handed bat, we're done, it's over. I think they're still going to go out and find somebody else. They're definitely going to get starting pitching. They're definitely going to get relief pitching. But the idea of having another right-handed bat is definitely something that they're going to do. Kiké is not the end-all, be-all to that situation, so they will have more.
It's just the very beginning. And if he doesn't work out, they have no problem moving on from him because he came on the cheap. So if Kiké shows up and he goes 0 for 10, bunch of errors, don't look for him to be around. It's if you produce, let's go. And the Dodgers are in that mode. When I was there earlier in the week, you saw Andrew Friedman on the field. You saw Stan Kasten on the field. You can sense that this is the time of year where there are moves to be made. And there's a reason that you're hearing a lot about the guys in the minor league system. Because, hey, the agenda's out there. Like, they're really, really good if anybody has the right offer for us.
All right. Well, guys, this has been the Blue Review, as always, presented by Los Angeles International Airport. Thank you, our special guest, Beto Duran, for joining us. And thank you, Greg, for having me on the first time. I'm looking forward to doing more. And we'll see you guys soon.
Appreciate you, Spark.